Stamping A to Z. I'm Linda Gibbs. I forgot to check to check the volume. Oh my goodness, and I've got this on the wrong way. Oh, sorry. I didn't even plug in my mic today. I am running a few minutes late. I had a plumber here. So, um anyways, welcome. Today is I'm using the impressions plate, the new impressions plate that is going to be available starting May 5th is the new catalog. I did show it 2 weeks ago when I did a preview sneak peek of the my pre-order. I do have a few more sneak peeks to show you. I got a second pre-order when there was the double rewards sale. I took advantage of that. So I'm going to do some sneak peek, just a quick sneak peek show. I don't know if I should do it. I'll do it first because otherwise my desk will be covered. I won't be able to find anything. And I'll set that aside. And then with the impressions plate. So 2 weeks ago, I showed you how the impression plate works with, they have new impressions dies that go with it, and they're meant to be used together. And knowing me, I always go, what if? And I decided to try using it with our regular dies in hopes that I wouldn't wreck it. I did not wreck it, but I am going to preface it with this is not a Stampin' Up! Recommended practice to do. I have done it and it hasn't wrecked the plate at all. As long as you're using the sandwich correctly. I mean, in my head, you're running through like their new impressions dies. It's a die and an impression part. So to me, I didn't see why it would be an issue unless that die was less deep than the other dies or whatever. But so far, I have the plate here. I cleaned it. And I'm guessing, I don't know if you'll have to replace it over time. You can kind of see there's marks, but I was getting marks with the impression die also. So, I mean, it's not cut into it. It's just marked. So we'll see. I might have to replace it, but that's not the end of the world either. I can't remember how much they were. Maybe I should look at how much they are before I say, oh yeah, I can just replace it. Yeah, so before I even get to the sneak peek and the crafting, I'm going to use this today. The Eyelet Blooms die is the product of the month for April. So we're at the end of April. So if there's some left, it'll keep going if you haven't already purchased it so you could purchase it next month as your product of the month if it's still available. It's $5 when you spend $100. Great deal. And this is so much. So I'll show you you can kind of see what it looks like. It kind of cuts but keeps it together. So I'm going to use this with the impressions die and it gives you a whole new look. So using the impressions plate allows you to use your dies as an embossing, and it gives you a whole new way to use your dies. I also wanted to make you aware of there's a flash sale, 24 hours only on May 2nd. It is on select memory keeping products. It's to celebrate National Scrapbooking Day. So mark your calendars. That's Saturday, I believe, May 2nd. And then for the month of May, there's going to be a new starter kit sale. And it is a great sale because you can either get all the new in color in the new style ink pad for free with your starter kit. So you still get it's $135. You get $165 worth of product and the ink pads, or you can get an extra $50 worth of product instead if you don't want the ink pads. So those are coming up in May, which is right around the corner. So let me get you turned around, and I hope this works even though I've got my camera on the opposite way that I normally do. We will see how the turnover works here. Pardon my, I gotta make sure I don't hit the power button, and then I might have to shift this over. Oops, sorry, a wee bit. And I forgot to turn on the lights. I ran upstairs. Is that a bit better? Hopefully that's better, except for now you get the glare of the light. I normally use my streaming lights, but it's on my phone. So I'd end up messing everything up. So anyways, let's get started. So this is the new catalog that launches May 5th. I still can't show you the inside till May 5th. If you've shopped with me in the last 6 months, and you should be getting a catalog in the mail. If you don't, let me know and I will get one to you. Okay, so if you missed 2 weeks ago, you can go back and look at that to see the products that I showed then, because I don't want to take too much time and show all the products all over again. But let's start with some of the stamp sets and dies. So there's this first one is balloon festoon, and it's got some, like, all the sizes of the balloons. It's got the stems, the ropes, and I think this is for the highlights on the balloons, I believe. I haven't used it yet. And then this is the stamp set. So this is, I thought I saw this one and I'm like, I have to have this one. You can never have too many birthday sets. And I don't have as many birthday sets as I would think. Um, there's this bundle. I wanted to get it the first go round, but it was back ordered. So this is a super simple rectangle punch, perfect for sentiments, labels, whatever. And then you've got the two matching stamps and then some perfect sentiments. Thank you, happy birthday. You did it. Congratulations. Like, let's celebrate anything. That's kind of a all encompassing. This one, oh, I was so excited for this one. It's not going to look like much, and I'm hoping I can convince my club members that we're going to use this in June. I'm hoping to use the dies for them. I usually include product for our club, and this one is just so much fun. It doesn't look like a lot, right? You're probably like, what the heck? She's going crazy. But it's actually a packaging. I haven't been able to build anything with it yet, but I've seen other people. It basically makes like a fold over edge. They have these 4x8 cellophane bags that fit perfectly with the edging. So you can have a nice topper for it. It has a little cute little handle that you can stick in between. You can decorate it with the different pieces and then the sentiments they go with, but it's just super cute, and you can use it with any of our designer series paper to change up the theme and the occasion. Just a great gift packaging set, and there's so much you can do with it. So I'm super excited to play with that. I love that it's different. Like, it's not just, oh, more flowers. So then there is, I had shown part of this suite. Can't remember what the name of the suite is now. If it's the Extraordinary Life, there's a scrapbooking kit that goes with it. There's a whole suite this is the bundle that's part of the suite. So it's got like border dies, which is super fun. This was also back ordered, which is why I didn't have it for my first sneak peek pre-order. This is the one that goes with the scrapbooking stuff. So there's usually if there's a suite and a suite with scrapbooking. There's usually a whole, sometimes it's a bundle, sometimes it's a stamp set, but it has more stamps that you would use for scrapbooking. But this, to me, you could totally use on cards. And I love the little butterfly and the ant. I don't know. It just like these, and it has the cute little note piece, which you could use on the front of a card. Like you can use all of this for cards. So I got the whole kit and caboodle. And with the scrapbooking sale that's coming up, I did not get the scrapbook kit yet. So maybe if it's on sale, might have to put another order in. Okay, so then there's another suite. Let me find the paper for it. So there's this and this and this. I think this is right. Um, can't remember if there was ribbon with this or not. This is the flowering meadow, and it has this beautiful velvet paper, specialty paper. It is, I was gonna buy just the paper, and then I realized that this bundle is a small, it's a quite a big stamp set, but it's just a little die set, so it is a little bit on the lower end of a bundle cost. So I ended up getting both because I really liked the flowers, but like you can't see it, but there's velvet. Um, so these little blossoms here are velvet. The rest is just flat. And then you've got the other side, and then what's the next? This one has these little flowers, has velvet, but it's not beautiful. So I was just gonna buy just the paper because it's so cute. And then this is like the little centers of the flowers have a velvet. So you really have to touch it to appreciate it. This one is like, you can probably tell. This one's got like a whole load of velvet. There's also a pack of velvet paper that are 3 different colors, I believe, that you can get. I did not get those. Um, you know, you can't get everything, or I can't get everything for sure. And then you've got, yeah, the dies and the stamp set and the cute, what are they called? Dreamy flowers. So that's that suite. And then some standalone stamps. I really liked this landscape stamp set. It's like, so it's got 6 stamps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can piece them together. You don't have to piece them all together, but they do make a really nice landscape. And I thought it would be fun to play with coloring this, like doing a grayscale and then trying to color it. I've been playing coloring a lot lately, so that was one of my thoughts. And then there's this thanks man. There's some really nice, there's another one that's family that has all like grandma and grandpa and all those things, but I have um 3 sons and a hubby, so I thought with the men in my life that this was um a good one, but they would have to be bro, like so so boys. Okay, so then I wasn't gonna get this. I forgot to label it. This is one of our online exclusives that's going to be releasing in May as well. So this isn't in the catalog. It'll be an online exclusive. It's called Splash and Relax. It's got like your inner tube, and you can stamp multi-step, like 2-step. I think it's almost 3-step stamping. But then like the dies, they were so super fun. They have like the little um iced cappuccino, like your or slushy cup. It's got your sunglasses and your visor, and this is the inner tube, and then your flip flops. Like so super cute. And I just thought for summertime, this would be a fun one to play with. Now I have to play lots so I can get through everything that I bought. And then there's these, I can't remember what sweets these go. I think this one, the dewdrop embellishments, this goes with a lily sweet. It's beautiful. I really sat there and had to convince myself not to. Actually, this might be the one that's one of them goes with the shimmering dots. I can't remember which is which. And then these are the in color dots. And there was also the butterflies that I showed you last time, and I'm going to use those today. I did get some of the ephemera packs. So this one is more scrapbooking. I think it's more here and now, mix and match. This one is mostly, this is sentiments, the sincerely noted. And then this one is under the sun. So it's got like fun stuff. It's got a bicycle and it's got all the fun. I love this Volkswagen. I think there's two, is this 2 sheets? They're quite thick. 2 sheets of each. Little camera, the flip-flops. Oh yes, and the bicycle and rain boots. Little boat. So it's got the sunglasses. So you could kind of pair this with that bundle that's on the online exclusives as well. But to make quick and easy cards, these are great. Might have to do a class with like a card crank class with the ephemera. I think that would be fun. Okay, and then there's a couple of papers. So this Everyday Essentials, this goes with the ephemera packs. They're color coordinated and they're super fun. I found they have lots of masculine, like you can do feminine, masculine, gender neutral. Like I said, with all the boys in my life, it's always nice to have, you know, pretty flowers, and then you could use it. It's just so versatile. You could make all sorts of stuff with this, the polka dots. So color wise, it's supposed to go, from what I understand, with all these ephemera, because it's not this one. I thought, anyways, I'm pretty sure. I mean, you can tell colors kind of go. So there was that. And then there's this artisan sketched paper. It is a lone paper. But oh my gosh, I love this black and white, and you can color and use these vases on your cards. It's got beautiful flowers, and then the black and white, like the polka dots, more flowers. You like just think of pulling out your blends and the coloring, or just use it as black and white. Like there's so much you can do with this. I had to have this paper. I always have to have the black and white paper. That's always kind of my because you could use it, you know, if your budget is really low and you want to be able to make your stuff go further, like say you're focusing on getting colors right now, whether it be stamp pads or blends or whatever, you could get this paper and use all your colors, and you don't need stamp sets other than maybe a sentiment, or you could even get the sentiments from the ephemera. You could use these sentiments and this, and just kind of, and a bit of cardstock, and you could even just have the card packs that have the cards and envelopes, and then you're set for making some cards. So there's ways to be very budget friendly when trying to get into this if you're just starting out. I definitely I mean, I think I'm going on 17 years. I didn't always do this as a business, but I think I've been a demonstrator that long. More of a hobby. Picked up, but I never bought this much stuff. And so, yeah, it builds over time. It's not something overnight. All right, let's get started with our thing. Oh, there are a few other things, but you'll see them as I go because I'm using them in my cards. So for this first one, I'm using the Boutique Blossoms. This is a mega suite where it has the two bundles. It actually has a third bundle that goes with the scrapbooking stuff. I just have the two. The one I had to have not just be, I mean, I have sentiments, but the scallops. So this one I already showed you. This one was back ordered, so I got it. And I just thought, what would this be like with the impressions plate? Because I forgot to actually cut it out um, to show you. I don't know if it's on the front of the catalog. There's a picture. No, it's on the inside. Okay, well, anyways, these more detailed dies. So these are dies. They cut some of our dies have just details on them. But these actually cut lines into your flower. And so they're split. And I thought, well, what happens if we just emboss them with the impression plate? Because we have the ability to cut out. So this is kind of like the idea of the impressions dies, where you run it through once and you cut it out. You run it through again and you emboss, basically. So, or you make an impression. So I'm going to take a piece of paper and we'll stamp our, you get to see the stamp pads in action. So I'm going to take my Barely Blush, which is one of my favorites. And we're going to take our nice big flower here. And there's two stamps that look the same. And I was going to stamp both of them, but when you stamp this one, it actually does give you the lines. So I decided that I was just going to do the one. Now, this is a pretty light color, so it is a little bit harder to see the definition, but you can see it nonetheless. So I've got that one. And then we will do the other flower in hydrangea hue. Oop, as I throw things into the ink pad. This one you're going to see the lines a little bit better because it's a bit of a darker color. Now this kind of stamp, the, what do you call it? Oh, I can never think of the name. What do you call it? I can't think. Distinctive stamps. They're harder to stamp off. I tried stamp because I wanted the blue to be a bit lighter, but I just found it doesn't work as well. You lose some of the distinction, the distinctiveness of it. So I left it full. And then we're using Peaceful Pine for the leaves. Okay. Then we are going to cut everything out before. I should have done this ahead of time, but I like to show step by step. So I'm just going to cut this down smaller. I wonder, oh no, I can't use the smaller. The mini, because the impressions plate is full size. So I'll grab the big boss here. I don't know if I'm going to have to raise. Is it too close? Let me know if it's too close. All right, so then I'm going to take these and I'm going to use the dies to cut them out. So just the regular outline die. If I can find it. Which way it goes? This way. Okay. And then this one. This one's a little more obvious. And then we have our leaf. But we only have one leaf, so to make the card, I had to cut it out 3 times. We'll just do one because you'll get the idea. And then I'll show you the finished product in the end. Okay, so we've got our die cuts. So we have 3 pieces there. Then we want to set this up with the impressions plate. So we're going to take these off of and I probably should have wet my paper ahead of time. I will try and wet it now. Because if you saw my video 2 weeks ago where I showed how to use the impression plate, getting your paper a little bit wet is the best way to get a good impression. So I'm going to wet the back side since the front side has color on it. And I like to use a baby wipe because it is the easiest way to control how wet something gets. So then we're going to take this one and we will wet this as well. And then this one doesn't fit as well. So I don't think it's meant quite to go on here, but we're just going to go with it. It gives it a bit of character. And then the leaf fits perfectly. But I did find I needed to tape them down because otherwise they do like to try and move on you since you didn't cut it with this. So that's where the difference is between using the ones that are meant for this versus the ones that we're jimmying to make it work. So then we take our impressions plate. So our dies are up and our paper is facing down. And then we just lay it on like that. Then we take our number 4 and we run it through. Okay. So, and it squishes out the end like this. That's normal. So it squishes as you cut. And it's very staticky. And then you're going to end up with like paper all over, but it wipes off with a baby wipe. And it'll be clean as can be with one wipe. But see, I don't know if you can see, like, look at that beautiful impression in all of these. So then we get to do the ta-da moment. Let's move this out of the way. And here is, I don't know how well you can see that. Come on, focus, focus, focus. It's right where the stamping is, but it's like, it's got a lot of texture to it. So pretty. And then the only part, I should use different tape because I find it very hard. The hardest part is taking the tape off for me. I have used this tape a few times, so might be time to replace it. But for now, I don't know if you can see that beautiful texture again. And then this one, like gorgeous texture. So that's just using regular dies instead of the impressions dies, but you're still getting the impression instead of, so normally this would cut through your paper and you would have slits and you could put a different color behind and it would show through. This is just solid, but it has the pretty impressions. So then I took some of the designer series paper that goes with it. It's a beautiful specialty paper again that has foil. It's such a shame to turn it over, but I wanted the green, and same with this one. It's part of, look at that beautiful gold. I I keep slurring my speech. So then I put those together and I cut out, this is one of the dies from in the scalloped blooms as well. I did lengthen it. If you don't know how to change the sizing of your dies, maybe I'll have to try and link a video that I did showing you how that is done. And then I just stamped the thinking of you, which is one of the sentiments, in gold embossing powder. And I used the beautiful new blush, Fairly Blush ribbon. It's such a pretty thin ribbon, and there it comes in all the new in colors. I only have 3, but there is also crisp cantaloupe and the golden glow. And then this is the finished card. So we've got the flowers and the leaves and the scallops. So once you get your catalog, I cased the idea of this card out of the catalog. Now, obviously, I have different flowers because that's a whole different thing. On a different it's different, but it's similar. It's where I got my idea from. So, anyways, you might recognize it once you see your catalog. But yeah, that's the flowers using the impressions plate. Okie dokie. Next one. I'm trying to decide which one I should do next. Which one's the wow one that I have to save for last? Okay, so I'm gonna pull out. I honestly I realized I could have, and maybe I still will. I don't know. Um, if it's still available, maybe in May, I might. But this die for $5 is the best thing on earth. There's so many things you can do with it. Highly recommend getting it if you haven't already done so. And if you have, then take it out and play with it is the best. So if we're just using it as a normal die, I haven't punched out all the pieces and parts here, but like all these little florals would be open like this. And then there's holes in the bigger flowers, right? So you'd have that. So it kind of looks like lacy, and then these are like cut pieces. So you could stand these up. In some of the examples, they cut around the flowers, so it has kind of that flower look. But that's how the normal die looks. Now we're gonna veer from what it's supposed to look like, and we're gonna see what else we can do with it. So we're gonna take our which one is which now? I wanted the bigger one. So we're gonna take a piece of white and we're gonna get our big guy here. And then we're going right to, we don't have to cut anything out since it's a background. So we're gonna take the plate and we're gonna wet our paper first. Because it is quite it's like a 3D impression, so you kind of want to help it along with breaking the fibers so it doesn't tear. The one I did, I forgot to wet, and it has a few little tears in it, but not much. So then I've got my 1 and my 2, my die, my paper that's curling because it's wet, and then I need the impression plates. Okay, like so. Make sure that's down. And then we'll take the number 4 and we're going to run it through. Okay, then we do the ta-da moment. Ta-da, see, and you can see like it's not cutting into the impression plate. It does mark it up, which the other ones do too. But again, Stampin' Up! Has not said that it was meant to do this. So You're on your own if you choose to do these techniques, but you can see it's not cutting anything. It's just embossing it or putting an impression. Now, because I have it taped, I'm going to leave it taped. You could do this to start with, but because the paper is wet, was wet, I'm going to do it this way. I want to put color. I want to stamp this onto here. So I kept it super subtle with because I love this Barely Blush, but you could go darker. I think I ended up even using the Cantaloupe Crisp just to get enough color because the pink wasn't quite enough. Now, the nice thing with these felt pads is I'm not as afraid to stamp directly onto a die, but if I had the foam pads, I would be very afraid of like tearing the foam. And if you're afraid of doing something to your pad, you can take a brayer and brayer it on. That would work too. So you could run it through again, or you can just push it down because it's already been like it fits nice and snug. And then I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to do it one more time, but there is color there now. Very subtle color, but it's there. And it just makes it pop even more. Oops, I got a bit on there. So you could run it through again if you really wanted to have a solid ink up, but it does really grab in there once you've already done the impression. I don't know if you can see that. It now has the lines have the impression. Now there is another option to add color, and that is to add it onto the back. Hang on, I'm just gonna take this piece of something off. I'm going to use my Barely Blush for this because otherwise I feel like it's going to be too dark. I just want to show you. I'm going to end up using this. I just feel like it looks so pillowy. Like, doesn't it look pillowy to you? Anyways, you could use the reverse side. And again, you could use a brayer, or because these are felt, they're nice and stiff, so you can run it without the fear of it sinking in too far and making too much of a mess. So it's just staying on the embossed parts. So you could have a print like this that works also. So you could add color afterwards to the back side and have this cool print, or you can have the pillowy side and have a very subtle print. So two very different looks, but just think of all the possibilities you could do on either side with this. Like, it's just endless. So then, since the next one is going to take a while, I basically cut it down. I added it to this. I ended up playing with, which I didn't show you because it was in this pile. So this is another one of the ones that I got, is the Words and Wishes. This was on my list from the get-go because it has, you can never have too many words. I feel like I love it when they come out with the words and the shadow for it. Like, that is my favorite. And then again, more birthday. I always find I'm lacking the birthday stuff. So this is a great birthday one. So then between this and the background, I ended up making this one. So this is just the background that we just did, and then I added the birthday. So this is the crisp cantaloupe, and then I stamped with Versamark and added the gold embossing powder. These are the cute in color butterflies. I tried to use the Barely Blush, but you couldn't even see them, so I went with the cantaloupe crisp. And then I used the butterflies, which I've shown you before. There's this butterfly set, and it is a punch bundle. So it's super quick and easy. You can stamp all three of these or just one, or I had shown a card using this one last time. This one I used just the outlines, and I did it in Barely Blush. So it's all very, very subtle. But again, this is a card very similar to one in the catalog, you'll notice. So that is that card. Then the last one is using this, which I've shown you, the Scenic, the Sunset Coast bundle. It's a suite, actually. I can't remember. Oh, there's anchors and stuff. But for this one, I'm just using a couple pieces. And I'm also pulling in the Lasting Linen background stamp. I believe it's still in the current online exclusives. I should go through the online exclusives, and I find it's getting harder and harder to know with having the catalogs and the online exclusives. I find it hard to keep track, especially of the online exclusives, to know if they're current or not. So anyways, I'm gonna stick this down for now. This is the Hydrangea Hue new in color. I love this purpley blue. It's so pretty. And then I've got a blueberry bushel to go with. And I think I pulled them off of, I don't know what made me grab the hydrangea hue. I just liked it. And then the blueberry bushel was in this paper. So then we're going to take a piece of this gorgeous Scenic Coast paper that has that holographic kind of look. And we're going to take this this die, and I should have popped this out ahead of time. And we're going to have to run this through a few times to get the look that I'm going for. Kind of crazy, but okay. So before we do that one, I'm going to start I'm going to cut this one out so I know where we are with things. So I have to pull this one. I'm going to die cut. So I don't need the impression plate yet. So we need our cutting plates back. And we're just going to put this kind of where we think we want it. I'm going to put it right there. And then we're just going to run it through and cut it out. Okay. So we've got the blue piece cut out like so. Oops. See, this tape only lasts so many times, and then it says enough. I'm done. Okay. So we've got our, now what I ended up doing, I don't remember if I did it this way or not. I want to cut this off. You're going to think I'm nuts. I just want a hole the same size. So we're going to cut this like this. So I'm going to have just a hole in my paper. And I looked at the Stylish Shapes dies to see, it would have made my hole a little bit bigger. You could just cut it with scissors. I think that's what I did originally. But this way I just have a nice clean hole. And then we've cut off our nice lighthouse is gone. So we just have the blue has just the hole. And I'm gonna poke out the leftover bits in here. We don't want leftover bits when we do an impression. Okay, then we also need to cut, not emboss. Oops, I guess we need the cutting plate. We need to cut a piece of this, and I want to set it. I want my sunset. So I'm going to be using this part of the paper. So, right about there, I think. Okay. And we're going to cut this. Now, some of you might think this is a waste of paper, but you could use, like, we're not going to use this part of the paper right now, but you could use it down the road. You could use it on another piece of paper. So I'm not tossing it, I'm not wasting it, but I am keeping this piece right here. This piece is the piece that I want to keep. So I'm going to put that with my blue paper. And then poke out. So we don't need the cutting plates anymore. The next, whoops, sorry. Next one we're going to do, I just hit my, good thing my phone is on there good. I whack my camera. Get these pieces of paper out. Okay. Then we're going to take a piece of white, which is here, and we're going to wet it like we did with our others. And we're going to, it is bigger so that I do have room to cut it, but just as an idea, we're going to go here and then we'll cut it down anyways, but just to kind of get it. And we're going upright again, just like we do with all the impression plate stuff. So we go paper, we go die facing up, then the paper on top, then the impression plate, then the number 4 3D embossing folder. And then we're going to run it through. Okay. So we've got, and then we have the beautiful impression of the lighthouse. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. This is what I first started playing with when I did the what if, and I didn't have the other ones yet. I was waiting for it to come. So I started playing with this set because I was excited to play with it either way. But yeah, this was the first of it. And then this is going to go here. And then what happens is when you put this here, you just have this beautiful impression of the lighthouse. And I colored it with blends to get this look. So this is all just colored with blends. Then the fence is from the same Sunset Coast does. I want to say Scenic Coast. I think that's the paper that's Scenic Coast. And I stamped the linen background um, stamp on the blue. Now, I stamped it after the fact and I had to make a mask, hence the reason there's some missing here. So what I would recommend is to stamp it now while it's like that. So you get a nice linen stamped look, a solid one across there. And then um, you could cut this white piece down or you could glue this down and then cut it. It's up to you. I would just trim it down so it's slightly smaller than the blue and then glue it down and then glue this piece on top and then you've got the shiny um, coastal ocean. Anyways, I was so happy with that. I was very proud of myself for coming up with um, some very different looking uh, things, ways to use your products that maybe you never would have used otherwise in that way, right? You can die cut and you can have one look, and now you can use the impression plate and have a total different look. So, yeah, I had lots of fun playing. I hope that if you get the impression plate when it is released in a few days now, May 5th, it'll be released. Also, there's the starter kit special. So if you do have a larger wish list of 160, it's $135 for the starter kit. So I highly recommend if you are spending more than $135 that you sign up for the starter kit. You get 100, you get to choose $165 worth of product. There is no shipping. Actually, you know what? I should have double checked all the things because I know they've changed the starter kit a little bit. Um, Not a whole lot. I'm gonna have to reread the fine print. But I do know like they've changed the rules in that you can't just drop and sign up again the next month like you used to be. It's a little bit longer of a period now that you have to wait. It's to encourage people to stay on. But again, there's no pressure to sell, to be a demonstrator. You can totally do this as a hobby and just get a discount for yourself, which is what I did for a very long time. Um, yeah, but I highly recommend. So on May 5th starts the starter kit special. So you get all that extra stuff. Plus you can get your what's on your list. And then if you still have more stuff that you want to buy, you can put in a second order and then get your 20% discount, which is even better. So yeah, lots of ways to take advantage. Don't miss out on the impressions plate. I have a feeling I don't know how popular it'll be because some people might just see it being used with, because I think there's only two impressions dies right now. So if people keep limited to that, it might not be as popular. But if you realize you can use it with all the things, sky's the limits, you guys. Get your creative hats on and see what you can do with some of the dies you have. I think I could play for a very long time figuring out ways to use it, but hopefully this has inspired you to get out your craft supplies. I hope that you have a great rest of your week and thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. If you have enjoyed the video, please give me a like, share, subscribe to my channel. I would love to grow my channel. I would love to know if you enjoy it. Um, Send me a note in the comments if you are enjoying my videos, even if you're watching the replay. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.